Audience, thoughts? Any super chatters out there want to talk about this guy getting ambushed by the fact that his wife is banging a cocaine fiend? Anybody? Oh, we got $10 from Will Heron. It says, ha 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 ha. How's that hot tub stream hitting you now, buddy? Okay. So Destiny did some research ahead of time. That's the beginning of the stream. You got to see, they broke it into 3 parts. He's talking to CoffeeZilla. He's doing a little bit of investigation. We want to go to the part where he jumps on stream and he just spanks Boogie's ass.
By the name of Destiny.
Yeah, I know.
You see how Destiny is already, like, he's prepared to fuck him up. He's come in, he smells blood in the water. He's got a pen and pad. He's got all his little notes written down and shit. He's just ready to straight.
I am 99% sure that you are faking.
No, don't move.
You are faking your cancer diagnosis, Boogie.
Okay, let's hear that.
Let's hear that.
Did the doctor ever tell you, or did he ever say the word cancer?
He said polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer, as he explained it to me. And no, it is not secondary polycythemia, which is Nicholas Diorio's explanation for this bullshit.
So I think it is secondary polycythemia. Can you explain?
Well, then why would he call it? Why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it?
Well, if he ordered a bone marrow...
See, that's the second time, by the way. Once on stream with Keem and me and everybody else, he had said that. He also says that when he's talking to Destiny, to confirm it.
Bone marrow biopsy to confirm it, it would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmation if it has been confirmed.
Because the markers are in my blood. The hormone markers are in my blood.
Correct.
Destiny.
But you said that you'd received the diagnosis, but now you just told me that you got a bone marrow biopsy to confirm.
It's a diagnosis, and now we're confirming.
Sure.
It's called a confirmation. The hormone markers are already in my blood.
Yep. So I think what happened is, Boogie, based on everything...
biopsy
Yeah.
Because I'm wanting to do that, because I'm praying to God I don't have cancer.
He doesn't care.
I'm praying to God I'm taking the 1 in a million chance that they're wrong, and that there's another reason that I have the hormone imbalances in my blood.
Yeah, why are you praying to God 2 years after you said that you have cancer, that you don't have cancer?
Because 2 years ago, they told me I have polycythemia vera based on the fact that I had increased red blood cell counts, increased hemoglobin, and the hormone markers in my blood. And it all spelled pretty definitively that I have this.
You know, just a little FYI on bone marrow biopsies, because, you know, I had one. When he's like, oh, it's intrusive, and basically they lay you down on a table, right? Like on your side, if they're going to go into the, like, you know, the hip area. And if they do it in the sternum, I couldn't tell you. I know they can do it in the chest. That looks awful. But they take this giant fucking needle and then they just jam it in there. And it's the weirdest feeling. But there is this weird sensation of pain that you go through for about like 5 to 10 seconds. It's horrible, where they're like sucking stuff out, like fluid or whatever it is. And it's like indescribable. It's like you shouldn't be feeling something, but you are. But he's like, oh, it's interesting. But in actuality, yeah, it sucks, but it's over in like 10 to 20 seconds. The actual procedure is so quick because they know it sucks. So they go in, they pop it in, suck the stuff out, pull the needle out, and you're good. So I don't know what he means by it's so tragically intrusive, invasive. Oh my God. Not really. It sucks, but it's not like the end of the world.
Merciful God of the world that would be willing to let this be wrong, even though it most certainly is not.
So why are you talking about expensive cancer treatments if they don't even know if you have cancer? That nothing has been confirmed yet. It's been 2 years.
They're treating it, dipshit.
They're not.
Because they've been treating it for 2 years.
How are they treating it, Boogie?
Blood test, blood thinners, bloodletting, medications. They're trying to get my weight down.
Yes.
I'm seeing the doctor every 3 months. I'm doing blood tests every fucking month. We're doing it.
Yep.
So they don't know
What
if
do you
you have
wanna know?
cancer or not. So can I
Go to hold
understand
my
this? I want to hear
Vera,
from a guy that actually knows something.
Polycythemia vera.
Destiny,
He
go
knows
ahead.
more about my medical
Yes,
diagnosis
yes,
than I do.
hear it. Well,
Go right ahead. I was in the room. My girlfriend was in the room. When they told me. So go
You
right
are
the fuck ahead,
filibustering.
Destiny. Go right the fuck ahead.
Yo, be nice,
sir.
be nice,
Okay,
Boogie.
yeah, I will go ahead.
Do you notice how angry he's getting? Look at he's sipping on his little sippy cup. Oh, Destiny. Arr, BBC. It's like it's his little comfort. I wonder, is that a tick? Is that a tick for Boogie? If we discovered a tick, if you ever play poker with Boogie, make sure you give him a giant drink with a straw, because he'll be sucking and playing with that thing when he gets real angry. Also, you can hear the disdain and the anger in his voice. He is not a happy camper right now. Kind of reminds me of when he was going off on CoffeeZilla. He's a little upset. He's a little bit upset right now.
Okay, so I think that Boogie was told that he has polycythemia, which means he has an elevation of his red blood cells. Now, there is a cancer known as polycythemia vera, which is caused by a mutation in some part of your body that causes an elevation of 3 different levels of things that you'll find. One of those is the red blood cell count. However, when Boogie was talking about the polycythemia, he mentioned a couple things that I thought were interesting. The first was that taking an exogenous hormone, TRT, testosterone, that caused a increase in him developing this condition. So taking testosterone will not cause you to develop a cancer. That doesn't, not for this particular cancer, it won't. It will cause you to develop secondary polycythemia. And the second thing that he mentioned was that his doctor ordered a sleep study. That's because one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells is if you have hypoxemia, which is a lower count of, or a low amount of oxygen in your blood for an extended period of time. And the reason why he ordered that sleep study is probably because Boogie either has pulmonary obstructive something, or he has, as he mentioned, sleep apnea. All of the things that Boogie described, both the things that cause this and the treatments for it, are consistent with secondary polycythemia. None of these are consistent with cancer, and the fact that he's saying that they've now ordered a biopsy 2 years after. 2 years after. Let me just finish real quick. Let me finish real quick. Real quick.
He's not done. He's not done.
Yeah.
Gangster
2 years
beats.
ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you've just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer.
Confirmation.
Is this House MD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
Because it was in my blood markers, and that's pretty goddamn definitive. You can Google that, Destiny. Yes.
Boogie, you won't keep saying you're the patient. You know what you have in your body.
Destiny kind of lit his ass on fire there. Oh, he's fired up. Our little boy here. Our little Destiny got on the stepping stool and just took a swing at the bookster. He's like, let me tell you this, fat boy. Okay, lard ass. I've read the Wikipedia articles, I read the white papers, and I think you're full of shit. And here's the reasons why. Boogie did not like that. Boogie is a little angry.
Body has.
Yes.
But when I go to the doctor, they give me shit like this, which is like papers.
Because I was going to say, Boogie can end this whole thing. Show me a single document with polycythemia vera on it. You don't have one. I don't think the doctor ever diagnosed you with it.
Can I ask you something, Destiny? Is it possible that when the doctor was seeing him, they were asking you could have polycythemia, if I'm saying it correctly, or polycythemia vera, but you don't have the cancer version. You have this version.
Correct.
There is
polycythemia.
I'm asking him. Is it? It could be like a lost in translation type situation.
Yeah. So polycythemia just means you have an elevation of red blood cells. That's all it means. Your red blood cell count is high. And
so
I think
you can just be fat and sleep apnea can create
sleep apnea could do it. Yeah, anything. Yeah, like that could cause it. And the fact that Boogie said we knew that when I was taking TRT, this was a risk of that. That means that risk is to develop secondary polycythemia. That was the risk, and then that is what ended up happening, unfortunately. But it's not cancer. That was induced because of just a low oxygenation of the blood.
So why? Explain to me, Destiny, why there are markers, hormone markers in my blood that have tested positively for polycythemia vera.
If there was, then he wouldn't have.
Look at one of your medical papers, dude.
Yeah,
I'm never showing any of these motherfuckers my medical papers. Go f yourself. I said that 2 years ago, and I'm staying by it now. Destiny, Jackson Clark, Keemstar, you can see it when I.
Oh, there's our boy again. The mysterious Jackson Clark in the shadows. Oh, Jackson Clark makes another appearance.
Die. It's my goddamn medical record. I've given you every goddamn phone call. I've given you every text. I've given you. It's never made a single goddamn thing better. I'm not gonna do it. Go yourselves.
Why would you have to insist on a biopsy if you can confirm with with blood markers? It's because you can't.
Because I'm hoping that I are wrong.
If you're hoping they're wrong, then why 2 years ago were you talking about fighting cancer? Why would you be talking
Because
about
I have been for 2 years.
fighting
Destiny.
cancer? How?
I've
With
been-
what? With
listen,
blood thinners?
Oh, this one's for you, Boogie.
Because oh god damn it, because you treat polycythemia vera almost identically to the way that you treat polycythemia, because you can't attack
this
the
champ.
cancer directly. All you can do is treat the symptoms.
There are two huge things. So one, you could show it to a private party and they could confirm, somebody like Keemstar. But two, the issue is that if you want to keep your medical issues to yourself, I think everybody is entitled to that right, obviously. But if you're going to
I
come
should have
out,
never talked about.
Do you see how? Here's one of the interesting things. Like I've debated with Destiny a couple times in the past. I was on streams with him. He loves like pill pull stuff. He likes the debate bro shit. But have you noticed that like everybody that talks to Boogie gets worn down? Do you see that like that stress sigh that Destiny gave out? Look at his face. Like CoffeeZilla, Destiny Keemstar, even myself, Ralph when he was on Ralph's show. Like everybody reaches that point where it's just like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just so draining. It's what is that show about vampires? What We Do in the Dark? There's the energy vampire. That's Boogie. Like he just sucks it out of you, man. He just drains you.
yeah, so GoFundMe does not do the best verification, as has been proven multiple times in the past. But the issue is that you say that you shouldn't have talked about it. But the fact is that you did. You did the day that you got the diagnosis. You were like, well, I was considering doing this, but I just got my diagnosis today. So you weren't considering. You did it instantly.
I sat on it for a while. I sat on it for a while.
Wait, on your tweet, did you not say that I got my diagnosis today and then talk about it?
They told me. Okay, they told me in the office that they were worried about it. Then they did the blood tests. Then yes, I did tweet about it on the day that I got confirmation. But I sat on it for a couple of months before, or for a couple of weeks before talking about it, because it took a while for us to get the blood results.
So you sat on it when you didn't know the answer? That's not called sitting on it. That's just called waiting for an answer. Why you're waiting? I don't understand why you wait 2 years.
Style cancer diagnosis.
Because cancer is pretty fucking serious.
There is no cancer.
Cancer is pretty
Secondary
serious.
polycythemia. There is no cancer here. There's no proof of it. You can't show anybody proof of it because it's not real. And yeah, I don't know. As somebody that like his mom.
You know what I'm curious about? I want to check something. Because it's one of the other things that Boogie said, and I don't know. So I want to double check. Okay, do you remember when Boogie said that it was too intrusive and costly for him to do a bone marrow biopsy? Like just a simple Google search, like, okay, what does a bone marrow biopsy cost if you had zero insurance at all? Which Boogie does have insurance, but if you had absolutely no insurance and had to pay out of pocket, what's the price range on that? The cost of a bone marrow biopsy ranges anywhere from $1,600 to $2,000, while if you were to do a bone marrow transplant, it could be more. We know he has that. I mean, he scammed people, and he was making that kind of money just off Lolco. He was making that money just off of YouTube. This isn't like I know that like some people, if you go in for like imaging could cost you a lot of money. The reason imaging costs you a lot of money is the hospital or the clinic or whoever has the imaging equipment has to pay for the machine. And the machine is millions of dollars. So they divide the cost of that up between every patient. That's why a CAT scan or a CTA or MRI or MRA or a PET scan or whatever they're getting can be a ridiculous amount of money. It could be $5,000, $6,000. But that's not the same with, I guess, a bone marrow biopsy where they're literally sticking a needle, just a basic bitch, big ass needle into you, and then sending it off to get stained and slide, on a slide or whatever. I don't know. That his story is not good.
Cancer, it's just a little bit gross, I feel like, when people are talking publicly about fighting cancer and
Who is
stuff.
the person that faked cancer before, the chick? You know who I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah, only had cancer once. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
a
don't
vintage
remember.
meme.
Nah, that's
a
classic.
vintage.
Wasn't
See,
it Emily from RuneScape or
There's
something?
so many people that don't know that meme right now.
Yeah.
Can I ask Boogie? Is it possible that you just jumped the gun on releasing your diagnosis thing?
No.
You don't think you jumped the gun a little bit?
Anything is possible, sure.
I just don't understand why you won't just go grab a piece of paper and just disprove them. Like,
Because
you
I don't
have
have
all these
printouts
feelings.
playing.
He has nothing with those words on it.
Number two, and like I said a year ago, when these tried to get
Hold
to begin
on,
with,
hold on.
this is the one last
this is
thing
a
I have
shitty
left.
excuse,
You
but-
motherfuckers were in my marriage. You guys were in everything else. You're in every aspect of my life. Let me have one goddamn.
See, I don't know. I don't buy this. This argument's bullshit to me. You put out everything about your life, Boogie. You made the decision. You've done, even outside of Mike Klum's documentary, every single thing that has ever affected you positively or negatively, you have run to the internet to share it. Weight loss, teeth, a marriage falling apart, your divorce, financial difficulties, and now an illness. You made the choice to introduce those into the public discussion, into the public arena. You can't get upset then afterwards that it gets talked about. You can get annoyed and perturbed and then show people that you're telling the truth by providing some simple documentation. Like, I made the choice when I got sick with cancer, when shit went wrong for me, to talk about it. Now it's in the public discourse. And after hearing, how about Dayton, Ohio, Mersh, go on for years saying I was faking it, all I had to do was show a piece of paper. If you've got this, this golden bullet that will end it, make Destiny apologize. And, he tried pulling this shit on the podcast where he's like, Mutahar won't pay me. He's a liar. Destiny would never apologize. I don't believe that for a second. I think if Boogie pulled out the paperwork and it showed that he had cancer, Destiny absolutely would apologize. I believe that. And I believe that Mutahar would absolutely have paid the money he promised to pay if he put it up. I have no reason to doubt either of those guys. But you put everything in a public discourse, every aspect of your life, and then you want to act like, oh no, this is a sacred thing that can't be talked about. Even though you've talked about it a lot. You've talked about it quite a bit. And you've used it as reasonings for actions you've taken that have over other people, namely in the crypto scam. And CoffeeZilla confronts you on that, and then you get angry with him and start yelling at him. Just like you're yelling at Destiny and yelling at Tommy and yelling at Wings and everybody else. So no, you don't get to pull this is the private bit. There is no private bit. You stripped away the privacy of it when you made it a central part of your online activities for 2 years.
Boogie lies about cancer, then hand this shit over to you pieces of shit. That's just.
This?
I'd rather
can
do
you
that.
get,
I'd rather
can you
do
get
that.
access?
Go ahead, print it, Dexterdo. Go ahead and print it.
Can you get your patient portal up on your phone and send it
Sure.
to Tommy?
And I'm not going to.
He's never doing that. He does not have a cancer diagnosis. There is 0% chance that he has one. Every leading thing for this cancer diagnosis the doctor talked about has to do with secondary polycythemia. The sleep apnea was a contributor to that, and the TRT was a contributor to that.
Except for the hormone markers in my blood. Except for
but if you had hormone markers for it, that's either a definitive diagnosis, in which case you wouldn't be getting a biopsy 2 years later, or it wasn't definitive, and you would have gotten a biopsy 2 years later instead of saying they're treating you for cancer for 2 years. You just said before that you don't have the money for extra medical stuff. If they don't need that test to confirm cancer, why would you spend extra money on a biopsy they don't need?
I don't know if you heard of this, Destiny. I just got a bit of a windfall.
Ooh.
Might have heard about it.
Yeah, you may have heard of it.
We have.
What's
Yes,
that? What's a
he
windfall?
did a $10,000 crypto scam, using partly his cancer thing as an excuse for why he needed to scam his fans. But
I just want to. I want to join real quick
That seems
because
like-
you just got caught lying about me to CoffeeZilla.
Seems like a lot of effort to go through.
And
No, I
now,
didn't.
now you're
told
being
Coffee
confronted.
exactly that. I
And
told
now
Coffee
you're being
exactly what I told
confronted on one of the biggest lies on internet history.
I can't think of it.
Go ahead.
Seriously.
And you won't prove it?
No.
You won't
No,
prove it?
I'd rather you go ahead and print it.
If
Print it.
this is true,
Go ahead,
if
print
this
it.
is true and you lied
Go
about
ahead, print
cancer,
it.
this is the biggest scandal on the internet.
And it's not, but go ahead and print it anyway.
Biggest scandal.
Go ahead and
Prove
print it
it.
anyway.
Yeah.
I pretty much
Prove
prove it.
it.
None of you motherfuckers. I
Fucking
said this
prove
2
it.
years ago, and I'm not doing it today. Go right ahead. Print it. Print it the way it is. Go right ahead.
Print it, run it.
I'm okay, with
Okay,
that.
so I guess just to wrap
Go
up,
ahead.
because we don't want to take all you guys' time tonight.
Very
So just as
busy
a couple
people.
things, right? So the story as laid out,
Yes.
if you look up secondary polycythemia versus
Yes.
polycythemia vera, all of the leading things that Boogie talks about leading to his condition are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not the mutation that would cause polycythemia vera. The things that Boogie says that his doctor wants him to check for afterwards, like doing a sleep study, are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not primary polycythemia.
also
And the fact that he says, I'm almost done.
yeah.
The fact that he says that he had the blood markers or something to confirm it 2 years ago, but is now getting a biopsy for secondary confirmation, even though he says he doesn't have the money for medical bills, but I guess now that he does have money, he's going to waste all of it on biopsying things that are already confirmed, or at least confirmed enough that he wanted to talk about it publicly for 2 years ago, and then use it to fundraise the money that he now has so that he can do the biopsy that I don't
Where
even
did
think
they
he's doing, by
fundraise?
the way. I don't
Where
think
did
he's
they
actually doing that
fundraise? Where did
biopsy.
they
I think that's a lie as well.
Where did they
And
fundraise?
if you wanted
Just
to
number
disprove
one.
If you wanted to disprove
Dusty.
it, all he has to do is show a private party this particular medical thing, and and it would be.
And I never
That's
will.
also fraud.
Just
That's just
medical
fraud.
records.
To summarize, Jesse, you're basically saying he's kind of unlucky he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, for this particular case, yeah. I mean, if you want, here, I'll do this. If Boogie can confirm,
Hold
that
on.
if Boogie can confirm that he has polycythemia vera,
Wait.
and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
Hey, you need
10,000.
money.
You're not
You can't-
seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical records.
$5,000.
I said this. I
He
said
doesn't
this.
have to
Wait,
see
hold
your
on, I don't get it. You leak your own medical history, but you won't leak
Just
the
remember,
confirmation?
okay, so then I just want people to remember in the future then,
year
when
from
Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said that he has. Doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Even I have a limit.
What's the limit, though? Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
bad-
I
my
think you
limit
can
is
probably
probably
understand
medical
that he, there's a big history of people, I guess, scamming people with cancer, and it's like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, and this is another thing I don't get. I've been pretty clear about this. You know, when I did my little, I'm done on the internet stream because my health has gone to shit, right? And my health has gone to shit. It's gone downhill. But one of the motivations I have for streaming is I want to try to set up my wife to be as comfortable as she can be. The thought of putting me in the dirt and then she's got to worry about, oh, the fucking furnace doesn't work, or oh, there's some fucking issue with the house, or there's some fucking issue with this. I want everything set up so she has nothing to worry about. That's my motivation. And Boogie tries to present himself in a somewhat similar manner, that he wants to have things, set up and under control for his, I don't know if she's his girlfriend or fiance, Desi, whatever it is. So I do streams and, they're on different subjects, whatever. I sell hats and there's super chats, that kind of shit. He's getting an opportunity to get 85 grand, right? $85,000. The amount of things he could do to set up and to make sure that she's taken care of, if that's his priority, if he's got a similar mindset to what I have, I can't imagine not taking that. To me, that doesn't make sense.